A whole 100. Can you believe that? We've had 100 instances, well, 101, but 100 instances where the anime dad and I have gotten on the same podcast and talked about anime together. And 100 of those was on the Anime Dudes podcast. Can you believe that? I can't. It seems like yesterday that we were just starting off this show. And you know what I learned from
What?
starting this off 100 years ago or
What's that?
100 episodes ago?
Who's that?
I learned that your name was the Anime Dad and that my name is Bjorvio. And welcome to the episode.
100 episodes ago. I actually recently watched and listened to the first episode that we did together.
Dude, me too.
And very different, very
Very
interesting.
different. There was like no
But
improv in there.
no improv. But AI didn't exist 100
Nope.
episodes ago. My Little Pony was still a dream in someone's nightmares. There were so many things that were different 100 episodes ago. And if you have listened from episode number 1 to episode number 100, then welcome to the 100 Club. We accept you as our kin.
Yes.
For the newbies who just joined now and like, whoa, 100 episodes, this is my first episode. Welcome to our kin.
You picked a good one. You're a part of the family.
You picked a really good one. We're going to be answering some really good questions today from our listeners. And we also are going to be doing some improv questions, having some fun, kicking some booty, and of course,
Chewing some bubble gum and blowing bubbles that explode in our face and get caught in our facial hair.
oh my goodness, that's terrible. That is terrible. But it does.
But we're going to do it for the fans.
We're going to do it. This is what we do. 100 episodes of living for the listeners. And that's our
Yep.
new catchphrase, living for the listeners. Okay, well, let's start off with our improv questions. I will pump out two to Bjorvio, and he will pump out two right back at me. Now, these improv questions have to include the number 100. You happy with that?
Okay. That's good. That's a pretty solid thing. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'll start. So, how many Krillins would it take to beat 100 Yamchas?
7. Because Krillin learned the multi-destructo disc, and everyone knows that Yamcha's not the best at dodging. So really, you just need 7 Krillins to just yeet a bunch of destructo discs. You know, he might take out a couple of Krillins in the process, sure. But he will defeat 100 Yamchas. And then he'll make them 200 Yamchas.
Oh, yes. And great answer. Great question. Well done. Let's move on. Let's get your first improv question. Let's mix it up this today. Your improv question, and then you boost it right back to me.
Very nice. So in Dr. Stone, one of Senku's phrases is 10 billion% awesome. He says it all throughout the show. How give me an instance in which Senku would say that is 100% awesome rather than 10 billion% awesome.
On a quiz, that's marked out of 10, because he always goes up 10 decimals, 10 points. For those,
He's a one-upper for sure.
yeah, for those who are true fans of the show, you know there's a scientific method to what he says. Everything he says is like a puzzle. It's like an escape room. Every episode you're stuck in, you have to try and get out of. And he's more calculated than you think. If you don't believe me, have a look at the most recent episode where he says 5 times 5 is 100 divided by 2, and then you'll find your missing teddy bear that you had as a child, the exact coordinates. And you'll find it. I did it myself. I worked it out. And that's not arrogant. That's just me knowing my capabilities.
Yeah, it's not arrogance if you can back it up, right?
Yeah, 100%. Let's pump out
100%, huh?
Yes. All right. Right back at you. 100. Let's say 100. Let's say you've watched 100 anime. Okay? 100
Okay.
anime, which you probably are relatively not, you're probably 50. What do you think you're at?
Probably close to 50. Yeah, probably.
let's say you get up to 100 anime. What would be your 101 anime? And why is this an intelligent question?
Okay, it's an intelligent question because in order to make it to 100, you got to have watched a lot of animes, okay? A lot. And a lot of ones that people hold close to their hearts. So you'd have to be real strategic with the 101st because you still want people to stay involved. So I would say I would probably have been purposeful to avoid a specific anime so that it could be my 101st. Nothing super big, like, not like the biggest ones, not like the big three, not One Piece, not Naruto, not something like that. I've already seen all those. But it's got to be something that it's going to make an impact on people. So I'm going to say my 101st anime is going to be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Great choice. A lot of people say that's good. I've never watched it. Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet. I've heard good things. I've heard the voice acting's incredible. It's on my list of things to just deep dive into because I'm pretty sure I mean, with how many people that I know that have seen it, it must be spectacular.
Yeah, I've heard some great things. And I've heard that Gojo. No, not Gojo. Jojo.
JoJo. Domain expansion.
Yeah, Gojo is pretty good in that anime as well. Okay, what is your final question for me?
All right. So you have 100 anime characters that want to walk up and shake your hand, congratulating you on 100 episodes of the podcast. Okay. And so you shake all of their hands, but for some reason they are in a very obscure order, and you don't figure out what order they're in till like 78. Who is number 100 and how are they arranged?
Great question. What? Now they're arranged in their life expectancy. Okay.
Ooh.
Number one is the person, obviously Yamcha, or the young girls from Oshinoko, and then number 100 would have to be Freywin. Okay,
Oh, good.
because she's 1,024 years old. Um, 50 number 50 is a tough one, but it has to go to Frieza because he dies every 5 or 10 episodes, but he still comes back to life. So it's like a half scenario.
I can dig it. I can dig it. I can get behind that.
All right, well, let's get into what we're talking about today. We're asking some cool questions. Bjorvio put a poll out on our Instagram asking some questions, and we're going to answer the highest rated questions today. We also have a person who has voice recorded some questions, a guy called Nikora, and we're going to answer them as well. So this 100th
Get excited.
Get excited. This 100th episode is all about you guys, and that's why we're answering your questions, even crazy ones. One of the questions was,
Why in the world do you have that picture frame to behind your head?
yeah, and that was me. I ask myself the question every day. But we've got some good questions. We've got some exciting ones, and maybe Bjorvio, you can pump out the question. We can discuss it and have a conversation. So the fans that are new know the answer, and the fans that have been with us from number one, the first episode ever, will have the answer as well. We're on all after this episode. We're all on an even playing field.
That's a good way of putting it. We're all even, we're all Steven, and we're all square. And in love with anime. And what more could you want in life?
Also,
right.
on a cool note, Minecraft the movie is coming out today, and that's now my favorite anime. I haven't even watched it yet, but I'm excited, and it's going to be a great movie, I'm sure.
I will wait for your review because I trust your opinion on these things.
Good. All right, what's the first question?
The first question, this one won in a landslide. Okay, like in a landslide. The top question that was submitted by fans was, what's next for the future of the podcast?
Now, just to give some clarity to those listening, me and Bjorvio, we like to improv a lot and just have
Yep.
conversations and talk about things and talk about things live. So right now, you're hearing our real live answers to those questions, nothing pre-prepared, because we're
Nope.
cool like that. Now
Strawberry ice cream.
now the future for the podcast. Well, an easy thing to say is we're going to continue talking to each other because we've become really, really good friends over the past 100 episodes and beyond. And the podcast is just a means to that conversation. But the hard thing to say is,
Strawberry ice cream.
yeah, I mean, especially if you've got a list. Um, but
Or
we
a really, really deep voice.
already, boys, we're our plan. You know, I've really loved our conversations, but I'm sure we're going to get some more voice actors on over the next
Yep.
few weeks. We're going to get some more fans on. We've been talking about that over the past few weeks about getting some people on who listen to the podcast, who have anime opinions, and just talk to them about their anime experience. And would you agree with that, B over you?
Oh, 100%. A lot of times, even off the camera, I mean, or the mic or whatever you want to call it, we've always said we're going to keep doing this so long as we're having fun. And y'all, we're still having a blast. Almost every episode, we immediately text each other like, dude, that was so awesome. I love this and I love that. I mean, even if no one is listening, which there are people that listen and we love that. But the point is to entertain you guys and to have fun. And we're still doing both of those things. So why stop anytime soon?
Correct. Correct. And yeah, we're
Really
absolutely
is
loving
kind of
it.
like therapy for us, honestly.
It is therapy. After a hard day, you know, we might have a lot going on in our lives, like we all do. We have a conversation that lasts half an hour, 40 minutes, and we feel so much better afterwards. We feel it's like cathartic, which is beautiful, you know, really
Yep.
beautiful.
It really is. It really gets my mind off my wheel making business.
Been having some problems there. But that's okay.
Yeah, really in the spokes on it.
What's the next question?
The next one is one that I'm not gonna lie, we never actually have talked about it. It's one piece of information that we've always forgot. I feel like we probably it's a good time to bring it up, and that is, how did we meet?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
we've never.
remember like it was 100 episodes ago.
It's. I was running the Anime Dad podcast and absolutely loving it. And clarify if I get anything wrong, Bjorvio. But I was running it. I was really enjoying it. I was scrolling through TikTok, which I do on the regular, or on the rig, as young people say, and Bjorvio popped up giving an incredible performance of All Might smashing a Nomu through the USJ, and it was incredible. I had to message him. I said, "Please, please, sir, can I have some more? Can I have some more of
Actually,
your voice
it
acting?"
was me that messaged you.
Oh my goodness!
You liked the video and bookmarked it, and I remember looking at it like, dude, this dude has a podcast. I haven't heard of this podcast before. The interesting. And I remember I did message you because I specifically was like, okay, I want to know like what kind of stuff he talks about. And so I specifically remember messaging you if you talk about things like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood on the podcast. And you said yes.
Did I really?
You haven't seen it. But you'd also mentioned like you just gotten through talking to like some really cool voice actors. Like I think at the time it was like Rico Fajaro, Kyle Haber, and Sunny Strait, maybe something like that. And I was like, oh, this guy sounds pretty cool. Okay, and then um, so yeah, our whole friendship is built on a lie.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
But it's
I'm
okay.
sh
He's seen it now. It's fine.
I'm sure I'm sure those three voice actors and the voice actors I've spoken to were on one of the background characters for as a
Oh,
dub.
Sonny Strait was Maze Hughes.
Yeah, true,
Like 100%.
true.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sure Kyle Hebert was somebody in FMAB.
I'm sure he was. And FMAB has changed my existence. It's incredible, and it blew my mind. But that's really funny. And straight away, I said, I'm not sure of the order of things, but I said, I'd love to have you on the podcast because you're absolutely incredible. And I sent
It
him a
wasn't very
selfie.
long after we met, like maybe about a month or so, I think. And I
Yeah,
was just dumbstruck. I was like, really? I'm just some dude.
I sent him a selfie of me going, my tongue out, winky face with the peace sign. He said yes,
And
and
and that's when I heard you, like in my head I can picture that picture clear as day, and then my mind just immediately associated with, and I was like, all right, done deal.
what'd you say that again? Waka waka.
Hello?
Ooh. Done deal. He jumped on. We spoke. We had great chemistry. I knew this guy's amazing, and then we spoke from there. And he jumped on with some voice actors, and then Anime Dudes was formed, and now we're Anime Doodads combination. So hopefully that's clear enough. But all you need to know is the moment I saw that video and bookmarked it to show my wife, my life changed for the better.
The ironic thing is now that video has copyright. Yeah, so I guess the audio I used was copyrighted, so
Oh no.
now you can't even hear it anymore.
Can you do it again?
All right. I'm afraid I barely have a minute left in this form. My power is declining faster than I thought it would. So on and so forth.
Oh my goodness. That's perfect timing for the 100th episode. Thank you for doing that. I got goosebumps. All right, what's the next question?
The next question is, okay, this is one that I'm actually kind of glad that I think it's mostly for me, but why did my microphone and everything sound different throughout the podcast? Um, that's a really good question. And to be fair, a lot of it was because I was using different laptops and I had switched internet providers. So one internet provider that I was using, like the internet would just freeze for like 5 seconds and then reconfigure everything and then it would be fine. And so a lot of times in the podcast, you'll hear me talking like that, and then there would just be this abrupt stop. It
Bro,
was really,
hold
really
on.
annoying.
You know what just happened? I literally got PTSD from when
I saw
that
your
happened.
face. I saw your face.
I
And you were like, oh
seriously
no,
got
it actually happened
PTSD
again.
because I remember that happening every episode, and I was like,
Every
yeah,
episode.
where's Frozen?
Yeah, and then I got it at one point the mic I was using broke, and so I was just using my phones, and that one sounded like trash. And then I ended up getting another microphone, and which is the one I'm using now. And so now I got a good mic, I got a good internet, and the podcast actually sounds a lot more consistent now that I'm not having everything break on me like every single week in between recordings. It was crazy.
It was crazy, but it was worth it. But that's a good
Oh yeah.
question and a good answer. Um, all right, I've got a couple of questions from a listener called Nikora, and or Nico, if you want to call him that. And I'll play a little bit of it, and we'll see. Tell me if you hear it, okay, B Dog.
I will.
Hello, anime dudes and anime dads. My name is Nico, and I love the podcast, and I love anime.
Me too.
Works great. I have a few questions that I'd love to hear the answers. First one, I started late, and I haven't listened to every single one, but I'm sure somewhere you've probably mentioned how you guys came together to create such a beautiful thing.
We just
I'd love
did.
to know from this point how that happened. Yeah, that's would be really helpful.
Nico's got a really cool
Do you
voice.
have, like,
Oh, for sure.
the top 3 favorite animes that you guys would recommend to new anime watchers?
All right, top 3 animes you'd recommend to new anime watchers. Pump them out, B Dog.
All right. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan,
Whoa,
and
you gone dark. That's dark.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of a lot. Some people like darker animes. Like
Yeah,
some
true.
people really like Death Note. So I'm like, as a first anime. I don't. It's a good one, but I think Attack on Titan might. I don't know. That one's going to get you a lot more in the door. And honestly, hard to go wrong with Dragon Ball Z
Great choices. Okay, I'm gonna
or
go
One
my
Piece.
I'm gonna go My Hero Academia,
Yep.
definitely. Spy Family number two, and the
Good.
final one, I'm gonna go for Doctor Stone, just because those three are
All three good.
a bit lighter, a bit more nuanced and beautiful. But your ones are amazing as well. Depends on the personality.
For sure.
All right, let's continue the voice message.
And also, I would love to know if you have any recommendations for a anime that would interest a wife who is not into anime.
Yeah, 100%. You want to take this one first? You want me to take this one first?
I'll take it. I'll take it, and I'll run with it because my wife does not like anime that much. She never did tremendously. She's actually right here. Wife of mine, what is an anime that got you into anime?
Well, I liked, what was a violent, it was a bit violent though, the Spy Family.
She likes Spy Family. Spy Family was the one that actually got her into it in the first place.
And now Doctor Stone because I like science.
And Dr. Stone because she likes science. Great choices. Well done.
Great
Okay.
choices.
And yours?
So my wife, the first anime that she actually got hooked into was My Hero Academia, which is a great choice. It's one of my favorites of all time. Another one that really has had a good. My wife kind of likes a little bit darker things, so she also really got into Death Note. And here recently, she's really, really, really liked Solo Leveling. So I think all three of those are great choices. But I think all yours are great too. I mean, some of the ones you listed are still some in my top 5 animes I've ever seen.
The name Bjorvio.
Completely. Yeah, no, completely. That makes sense. Great choices as well. Now, he did say his wife's not a big magic fan. So Spy Family would be a good option in that regard.
So Dr. Stone, 100%.
And Dr. Stone. Yeah, and even Solo Leveling. It's not much magic. It's more power system in that, say.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
All right, next question.
And also, on the topic of the name Bjorvio, it already sounds like a superhero anime character's name, but what would the title be? Like, Bjorvio the sorcerer, Bjorvio the accountant, Bjorvio the hardworking father of 5, just to give me a better picture of the kind of guy that Bjorvio is. Also, I'd like to hear the same about Reilly. Reilly the wise, Reilly the impenetrable.
I think he knows me because those names I've been called in high school quite a few times. What is...
You were also called an accountant?
I was called an accountant. It's because I always was good at the tuck shop. What would your title be?
All right. So, I would say, I'm gonna go with something a little bit mysterious for mine, but something really cool. Okay, I'm gonna go with Bjorvio, the hero of Twilight.
Goodness, so you save the guy from Spy Family? Is that what you do? You save him all the time?
Yep, I only save Agent Twilight, and I can only operate during the hours of 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. But thankfully, that's when he's in the most danger, so it works out nicely. He makes me really good too.
5:59. You see someone getting robbed. Oh, nah.
That's when I'm like Nanami from JJK, and I just get this like massive power boost. Like I'm off the clock.
This is going to sound silly, but I was talking with my wife about RuneScape yesterday, which is a game that, if people don't know, it's something I played a lot growing up, and it started my name as Reilly the Great, because I kept saying great. Oh, this is great, great, great. People say, how are you? They say good. I don't like the word good. I prefer great. And that's where I got the name from. Also because I was pretty great at RuneScape. And also another option for me was Reilly the Glutton. And that's just because I eat a lot of food. If you had to give me one, what would it be?
Reilly, let's go with the superstitious.
Yes. Throw some salt over my shoulder right now.
Yes, sir. What now? I'm curious. What would you give me? I don't know why I
Bjorvio.
referred to myself in the third person there, but
What
whatever.
would you give Bjorvio the me? I'd say Bjorvio the voice.
Aw, I like that.
The voice. And that's because I think your voice to me is more iconic than Mickey Mouse.
I take offense to that.
So, Nico, thank you very much for sending those through. That's great. Nico does mention that his wife is really, really attractive. So that that should be in our minds while we think about the answers to our questions. So, does that change your answer to what animation you should watch? Should you watch how heavy the dumbbells they lift are because of that reason, or?
That's a great question. And honestly, I would lean more towards that time I got reincarnated as a refrigerator. Now I wander the dungeon more so than the dumbbells one.
Okay.
Because who doesn't love fridges?
Yeah, and that's where beauty starts in the fridge, as my mum
Yep.
always told me growing up.
All right, you think we got enough time for one more question, then
Give
some
me one.
improv?
Give me one more.
All right, the other one that was voted super, super high is what has the podcast done in our lives?
Good question.
Great question.
I'm in a little town in the South Island of New Zealand, and I've said this before in my videos, but they think anime is a type of food. So a lot of people don't understand my choice of entertainment. So meeting people, especially Bjorvio, but all the people that we've met in the process have been incredible. We've met some wonderful people that we still keep in contact with, and I consider really good friends. Also, meeting voice actors that me and Bjorvio have grown up with, listening to, and watching has been absolutely phenomenal. And it's crazy that we had that opportunity to talk to them and call them friends, which is Stephanie Nadolny, Veronica Taylor, the voice of Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, Stephanie Nadolny, voice of Kid Goku, and many more. There's
John
so many.
Swayze.
John Swayze. There's so many voice actors that we've spoken to and met, and other people who aren't voice actors that just love anime that we've connected with over the past 100 episodes and more. And would you agree with that assessment?
I would. I mean, obviously, I don't live in a small town in the middle of New Zealand, but
You should.
yeah, that'd be kind of nice sometimes. A lot of times, actually. But for me, I do have people that I can talk to about anime, but it's different being able to do it on the podcast. The podcast has really pushed what I really have liked about anime and has really inspired me to watch stuff that I would not have typically watched.
Yeah.
Which has been awesome. And we started the podcast around the time that I really had just started doing voices and getting into voiceover work, and so I was still relatively new, and I don't think I would have really done any of the accomplishments that I've been able to without it. I mean, heck, I have done voiceover improv with actual like voice actors and that with them doing their characters and I'm doing other characters in the show. Like that's a dream come true. We're meeting some of these guys at conventions and stuff and I'm like, "Oh, hi, I'm this person. Remember I interviewed you on the Anime Dad podcast." They're like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." What? Like that's crazy. But I think the biggest thing that's come out of the podcast as a whole has been just the friendship that we have established. I mean, literally, almost every day when I get off work, the first thing I do is I send Anime Dad a voice message, and usually it's like, oh, here was my day, and then it goes into rambling and obscure nonsense, and always ends with some kind of like, go beyond plus ultra, you fool, or something, you know. But the friendship has really been the biggest thing that's come out of the podcast for me personally. I mean, even when you include meeting all the voice actors and all the fun improv and all that stuff, it's just, you can't replace that. You really, really can't.
You really can't. And you're right. Every single day we're in contact, and it's awesome. Our friendship has grown from strength to strength. When there's a day where you don't message or I don't message, it's strange. It feels like something's missing. A piece of the puzzle is missing. So you're right. Yeah, we really appreciate our friendship, and that's why this podcast is so special to us both. So thanks for bringing it out, Bjorvio. That's great. That's really good.
Strawberry ice cream.
Strawberry, apple, bananas. Now, we don't have a tremendous amount of time, but we need some anime characters to wish us well for our 100th episode. And we don't have any voice actors right now other than the voice actor Bjorvio, the voice, right here. So I will say voice actor Bjorvio and give a little message from our anime characters. Would you be happy with that?
I will do what I must.
All right. Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
Hey, this is Trunks. I heard that you guys, well, I mean, I know you guys have had 100. In my time, you guys have many more than that. But I just wanted to come back and say that I'm so excited that you guys have reached this. What an accomplishment. You guys are truly remarkable and have brought so much hope in a world where androids have destroyed literally every other form of media. So, thank you guys. I'll see you guys again at 200 episodes, which I'm going to go record right now.
Yes. Thanks, Trunks. Thanks for calling in. We have Sanjing Wu from Solar Leveling on the line. Welcome.
I'm glad that you guys have decided to arise to the occasion and really make a big deal out of your 100 episodes. Me and Igris have listened to the other 1 and 299 episodes many times, so we're big fans. Please tell Tank to stop borrowing my headphones.
All right, Tank, stop borrowing those headphones. Thanks for calling in. Really appreciate that. Let's go on to Mickey Mouse, because Mickey's been a big part of it as well. Mickey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, welcome.
Gee Willikers, you guys reaching 100 episodes has been absolutely magical. I think all of you guys should really give yourselves a pat on the back for your incredible accomplishment.
Mickey, I appreciate you calling in, but don't use words like that. This is a family-friendly show. Can you just apologize quickly for that?
Nope.
All right. We got 2 more people that are here that are ready, who've called in, who are waiting. They waited for 2 hours, actually, until we started the show. We've got Vegeta.
Really want? Why do you think I care if they reached 100 episodes or not? I'm sorry. All right, Bulma. Okay, fine. Just, I'll do it. All right. Thank you for reaching 100 episodes. That's cool and all, I guess. I mean, that's, if I was on the podcast, it'd be 120, but, that you're like at Kakarot's level. But
No,
anyway, keep going, I guess, whatever.
it'll be 9,000 if you were on the episode. But still, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you calling. Oh, Balma. Hear Balma in the background.
It's the last time I'm telling you, you can't just yell at people like that.
Sorry,
I do what I want. I'm the Prince of all Saiyans.
that was Marge Simpson. That was the next and we got a final person, someone who's really special, who brought us together in the first place. It's the symbol of peace himself, All Might.
Dear Anime Dad and Bjorvio, you guys have truly been through some amazing things, and I'm so glad that I, the #1 symbol of peace and justice, am the start of your friendship, because that means you got set off on the right foot. Congratulations on 100 episodes. That is truly amazing. You all deserve it.
And the fans, thank you all for listening. Now, I just wanted to tell you all that you're all super special and you're all true heroes. Keep going. You have many more to go.
Beautiful. We're going to do a joint plus ultra in the household. Now, my wonderful wife and kids, are you ready to say plus ultra? Plus ultra as loud as you can, okay? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3, go beyond. Say it again.
Plus
Ultra.